So today we're going to be installing a new power steering pump on a 2010 Dodge Ram 1500 with a 5.7 liter Hemi in it.
Hey, that thing got a Hemi?
And this should be the same for 2009, 10, and 11. I haven't seen too many videos out there on this particular body style, so I figured I would go ahead and make one of me changing mine out. And I'll show you what materials I've got here to be able to do the job. First of all, we've got the power steering pump here. This one is a Cardone. There's the part number right there of the one needed, just in case you want to use that for reference if you need to do the same. I've got my power steering fluid puller.
Clearance, Clarence.
Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
To be able to take the pulley off of the old one and put it on the new one. I've got my serpentine belt tool right here. That's to be able to loosen up that serpentine belt and take it off to be able to get the pump off itself. So those come in handy for sure. Makes it a lot easier than trying to do it with just a regular old ratchet. And then I've got a pair of needle nose just to be able to take the hose clamps off. I'm going to mount the GoPro right here on my head and try not to beat it to death as I'm crawling around this thing. I've got a piece of cardboard laid underneath because I live out here on gravel. We don't have any pavement, and I currently do not have a shop to do this in, so you just right here in the front yard. So I got my cardboard down to keep from getting all nasty, well, best I can anyway. And I'm gonna have a little step ladder to be able to help me get underneath the hood a little bit easier. I find that since I'm not 7 foot tall, it's a lot easier for me to have a little step ladder to get over underneath the hood easier and reach everything. And also a good thing to do is take and maybe drape a towel over the body if you have, you know, your belt buckle or anything like that that might scratch up the paint or anything. And just that's a good tip if you don't want to do any damage to your vehicle while you're working on it. So, but yeah, I'm gonna get the GoPro mounted on my head, and I hope that the footage comes out great because I obviously won't be able to see it until I'm done.
Oh, I can't see! I can't see!
What's the matter?
I got my eyes closed.
First thing that we want to do is always disconnect our battery so that we don't mess up any of our electronics on our vehicle. So we want to disconnect the negative cable off of there first. Just get it loosened up and then wiggle it off. Set it off over to the side, and then since this has got a cover over it, I'm gonna close that cover back down to keep it from potentially touching anything. Next thing we want to do is I want to go ahead and loosen up my serpentine belt. We want to get our serpentine belt on, our tool on there, get it popped into place. I pulled over here loose and just slide that off of there. And I'm gonna leave that connected just so that I can come right back to it. Okay, next thing we're gonna do, we're going to go underneath. I'm gonna take our needle nose, remove our hose, drain out our power steering fluid. So from underneath here, we've got these two hoses And this one right here, if we look over there, is coming from the bottom of the reservoir on our power steering pump. So I'm gonna take this one right here loose and drain that fluid out into this bucket that I've got here. You can use needle nose for this, or a pair of channel locks will work just as well also. And they might actually work a little better in some cases. Now this might be a little tight. Oh, there we go. Woo. I meant to pick up. So I can set this right down here. See about taking our bolts loose. We got 1, 2. Feels like 3. Holding that on. And then we got this hose. Okay, so my GoPro died.
She's dead!
And now I'm going to record with my phone. So we've got the hose disconnected down there from the reservoir. We'll disconnect this hose here after we get it disconnected. After we get the pump itself disconnected, because that didn't make sense. We'll get it disconnected after we got it disconnected.
You're stupid! You stupid person!
And we're gonna take our 1/2-inch socket. Now you just feed it through the hole right there. And like a glove.
Like a glove.
And if you had a power ratchet, battery operated ratchet driver, I mean, you just got it made.
I got it made.
You don't have to turn, you just squeeze the trigger. Oh, not that way. It'll hold itself right there, and I can go underneath to the bottom, take the other one out. So get it rotated around down there at the bottom. There we go. Now we got it on. Anybody can do this. All you need is some tools. Take your time and have patience. That's the biggest thing, to have patience. It's not going to be done in 5 minutes, and you're going to have to be okay with getting dirty. Working on a vehicle, you're going to get a little dirty. Okay, so I'm going to take my ratchet off, get that socket on there, and then take and loosen it up by hand. Pull it out. Look at that, bam. Number 2. So, loosen this one up. And we screw back in there. There, now we got it. She drops loose. Alright, now we've got that done. So I'm gonna use this crescent right here. Get it loosened up. And then, oh yeah, that wasn't bad at all. I think we should, yeah, we can loosen that by hand now, so we don't even have to worry about the wrench. Take our needle nose, remove our hose from up here. There we go. And now, just lift it right out. We got the old pulled off, and now we're gonna put the new power steering pump right here on. I know Earlier I said that we were going to need a gear puller for the old one, but we've got a new pulley on our new part here, so we're not going to need the gear puller after all, which makes things a heck of a lot easier. But for some reason, the pulley part for this specific truck, the 2009 to 2012 Dodge Ram 1500s with the 5.7 liter Hemi, is nearly impossible to find a pulley for them. For some reason, they're not listed online anywhere unless you get them directly from Mopar. And if you buy them from Mopar, the pulley itself is just as much as the power steering pump, which I find to be absolutely absurd to pay the same for a pulley whenever these things, you can pick them up all day long for $30 to $50 depending on the pump. So go ahead and get it started there. Just a couple of threads to get it held into place. And we'll go down here, get it turned, and put the other one into place. I always like to start them by hand, that way I don't take the chance of cross-threading anything. You for sure don't want to cross-thread, because it'll come back to bite you later on if you have to work on anything later. Very bottom hole now. Okay. It appears that we've got all three started. I'm not going to completely tighten them up just yet, because I want to go ahead and get my hoses connected to the bottom first. Come down here and take it and pull this plug out. Take this hose that we took off, stick it up in there, and then finger tighten it to start off. Don't want to get any oil or anything on that pulley to where your belt's going to be slipping. And pull this plug off of the bottom of our reservoir, and this hose here goes right up on the bottom. And we take our needle nose or your channel locks crescent wrench, just get it, because it doesn't take a whole lot. You just got to get it, just get it snug to where it won't come loose. In the past, I was bad about over tightening stuff and breaking it. Don't want to do that anymore, but you learn from your mistakes. There we go, and then we'll tighten it back up. And then move to the next. Snug that top one down. And then do the same thing. Alright. Now, we want to use our bar for our serpentine belt. To loosen it up, put it around that new pump. Take that out. Gotta wiggle it because it sticks in there tight. And then we go back underneath, grab our needle nose. And then connect our hose back. Just like that. So, take our cap off. Oh, we've got it up to the minimum mark. The next thing that we want to do after we got our power steering fluid, put our negative battery cable back on. And remember, just snug it. Just until it gets pretty tight and it's not moving. I'm gonna go back and forth with your steering wheel about 4 times. Each way. Okay, and see how it's dropped down. Go just a tiny bit over that minimum line. That is how you change out the power steering pump on a 2009 to 2012 Dodge Ram 1500 with a 5.7 liter Hemi. And I want to leave you with this. John 13 verse 34 and 35. It says, "So now I am giving you a new commandment. Love each other just as I have loved you. That is how that you should love one another. Your love for one another will prove to the world that you are my disciples." And so that is where we're going to end it. I just want to say God bless. Thank you for watching. And hey, the more you know.
Okay, that's rule number 1.